What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Shoe Buddy Sports. I'm your host, Graham Powell, on this screen. That's Bradley Brown on the other. Say what's up, Brad.
How's it going?
Pretty well. It was a great weekend of sports. We'll talk about that and more. First, let's give a quick shout out to our sponsor. Shoe Booty Sports is presented by Rhino Races. Rhino Races is a virtual race series that offers five different races: a 5K, 10K, half marathon, a marathon, and the one of a kind Rhino Ultra. You can sign up for one or all five of their races at rhinoraces.com. Run your race at your convenience. Track it with your fitness app of choice. Screenshot your results as proof of completion. Submit that screenshot to rhinoraces.com under the submit results section. Once your results are verified by Rhino Races staff, your award will be shipped to you by mail. Also, check out their gear section while you're there for t-shirts, wristbands, decals, and more. That's rhinoraces.com. Rhino Races is the premier virtual running series. And you can find us, Shoe Booty Sports, on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow us on X at Shoe Booty Sports. Okay, so did you watch the entire Razorback Tennessee game? We'll start with that.
Yes.
It was the most watched college football game this weekend, according to some poll, I think on ESPN or that I saw on X. Some I saw it somewhere on the internet, so it must be true. But that's a weird thing to lie about.
Yeah.
I missed the entire first half, really. I was keeping up with the score. I just decided to, well, I mean, I just had plans other than I'm going to sit down and watch this game because I didn't expect it to be close. I didn't want to do that to myself on primetime Saturday night, but I saw it was 3-0 Arkansas for a long time. And then I realized by the time I got home to watch the second half, it's like, okay, we got a game. And I actually went to my dad's to watch it. And wow, what a game! I was actually in the car when I heard about the Taylon Green injury. Uh, uh, Gosh, what's his name? Um, Chuck Barrett. Okay, voice of the Razorbacks. I was like, I can't draw a blank on this. I'm my fellow bald guy. But he was calling it a dirty play on the radio, and he's pretty honest. He's not just the homer, just a big time homer when it comes to calling games. He'll call it like it is. And he called it a dirty play. You go home. I got home and saw the replay. Yeah, it was a complete dirty play, complete dirty hit, low hit on the quarterback, defenseless in that spot. Terrible play. Look at Taylor's stat line. Had a heck of a game. Much better quarterback play than what we saw against Texas A&M and at Auburn too. At least from his stat line and the little bit that I did see. What are your thoughts on that? Am I fair or foul on that, or am I in the ballpark?
I think you're fair. I mean, we didn't have any turnovers, right? So we didn't no bad snaps. Uh it seemed like he had plenty of time to throw whenever they were actually asking him to throw. But I like the fact that well, you didn't see the first half, but that first drive we came out and we just ran the ball. It's like just play after play. Like it's like, okay, if we're gonna go for eating all the clock we can, I kind of like it as long as we can move it. But and then I think we threw it once or twice, like 7 or 8 plays in. But but yeah, I think he played. He didn't make the same mistakes that he's been making over the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, running the ball will open up the pass game. Anytime you can control time of possession, it's always a good thing. Yeah, it's from what I saw, he had a heck of a game, and I mean, I knew already, he was our best option to win. Taylor Green, that is. The little bit of Malachi that we saw. What's his last name? Singleton.
Singleton, oh yeah.
Yeah, Malachi Singleton. Um, you should fact that check that just to be sure. I think that's accurate. But yeah, tough spot for a freshman to come into, and I don't know. It looked all right. Looked like a freshman at times. Also, of course, the last scoring drive where he scored, Tennessee let him score, which was the right call. If you're a veteran in that spot, you you understand what's going on and you slide at the one. Then again, didn't Arkansas have their backup kicker in? And I don't know from what we've seen in the kicking game. I don't know if you trust that too. So I didn't hate it, but of course Tennessee had a shot to score at the end of the game and win it. So exciting game, exciting finish. The big takeaway, the defense for me. Arkansas showed up on defense this year, which is something we have not said in a long time.
Yeah.
Uh, well, when's the last time you say that you felt Arkansas had a strong defense, or at least looked well defensively, even looked well, not necessarily strong.
When did we have Jake Beckett?
Really, you thought then? I
Mm,
thought he was a good player, but like I don't know.
that's true. Yeah, I mean, nothing really comes to mind where I'm like, yeah, we've got a good defense.
I go all the way back to now, like when we had Trey Flowers and Dietrich Wise. I mean, that was a good pass rush, but the secondary
Yeah.
was still, there were holes at times. I'd have to go all the way back to like the Houston Nut days, when it felt like the defense was strong at times. Um, but it was, and then that was just at times. But yeah, the defense has played well this year and definitely played well Saturday. Uh, any update on Taylor Green? What the severity of the injury?
Haven't seen anything. I mean, all I've seen is like hearsays. Somebody was saying he had like a minor sprain, or like a grade 1 sprain, whatever that means. I'm not a doctor, but I don't know, man. Hopefully that bye week this week's gonna help him recover in time to play, because we'll need him.
Yes, Arkansas could not have picked a better time to have a bye week. They are 4-2 going into the bye week. I thought they'd have 4 wins all season, and here they are going into the bye week at 4-2. They're going to get to a bowl game.
Yeah,
It's basically just what's your record going to be? How good is the bowl going to be? They should beat Mississippi State now. Should I say that? I
good.
think you can chalk up Louisiana Tech as a win. I wouldn't be surprised if they beat Missouri. Um,
Yeah, I mean, after that game this weekend, man, they got curb stomped.
well,
So
Missouri's just not as good as they were a year ago, and you could see that even in the games they were winning, the close
yeah,
games they were escaping with and winning. You could tell that then. And then Texas A&M just bulldozed them. Of course, they had their starting quarterback back, but just completely shut them down offensively, and Missouri couldn't stop them on the other side of the ball either, which was very entertaining. For me, that was the first game I got sat down and watched Saturday. Very entertaining stuff for me. Not to Mizzou fans, but definitely A&M fans and me and you as well, I'm sure.
well, yeah, I wish I could have seen it. I was out on the golf course, so I didn't. I got to catch the tail end of the Alabama Vandy game. Which, by the way, how's your dad doing after that?
I'd say we're gonna get to that. He didn't see the game, but I was keeping him updated. Um, he was I don't remember what he was doing. He was with my youngest brother and the niece and nephew doing something. But I was keeping him updated on it. Let's finish up on the Razorbacks real quick though. Uh, as far as you want to make any changes to, or what do you think the ceiling is as far as what Arkansas can win in the regular season, win total? Not even looking at the schedule, just off the top of your head.
Seven,
I was
7 wins.
I think seven's a good number. Not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying it could happen at this point.
Yeah,
Because I mean, this is a better football team than we thought. I mean, you could kind of tell that early against UAPB. Even
hmm
a lot to take away there, but you could tell this is a different football team. Bobby Petrino calling plays. It's just different now. Taylor Green is a playmaker. It's like you said, we need him. Uh, if this team wins 7 games and gets to a bowl game, I mean, wow. That'd be quite the turnaround from what we saw a year ago. But we will see what happens. But yeah, bye week could not come at a better time for the Hogs. Hopefully, they can heal up, and Taylor Green in particular, heal up, get healthy, be ready to go next time out. Who do they play next? Is it Mississippi
LSU.
State? Is it LSU? Okay,
Yeah.
rock on. Is it
Primetime game on the 19th. So
where at?
it's in Fayetteville.
Okay, I'll actually be up there that weekend. I will have to go to bed pretty early though, because I have to get up and pace a race the next day. So in Fayetteville, but I will definitely be watching the game. I'll stay up as late as I need to. We'll give a score prediction on that in next week's show. But let's talk about Alabama Vanderbilt. The Alabama goes from one of the greatest college football games I had ever seen, wins, beating Georgia a week ago in exciting fashion, and then you lose to Vanderbilt, and you were down pretty much or most of the game. You were down most of the vast majority of the game. You lost to Vanderbilt. You're the University of Alabama. You lost to Vanderbilt. That's you never say never,
It seemed like what for the first time ever, right?
but it felt like
I mean, in our lifetime at least.
it's that somebody said it's been a generation or so since Vanderbilt beat Alabama. I don't know what the record is on that, but uh, I think Vandy was something ridiculous like 0-60 or 0-65 against top AP top 5 teams. Some crazy number like that. And you beat Vanderbilt. Diego Pavia, which is still a fun name to say. It's fun
Yeah.
to say it. Dude is just a gamer. He looks like of course, he was under recruited. I can't remember where all he went, but he reminds me of like just that really good intramural quarterback that would stand out on the intramural fields and the cut like in movie Hollywood fashion, the university team needs a quarterback, and so they send some assistant coaches to go check out the intramural fields, or they at least hear about this guy, like, oh, we'll go check him out. And then they see him play, and then they give him a shot. That for whatever reason, that reminds me of Diego Pavia, like the ultimate underdog. It's not always, I don't know, it's not sexy the way he plays, if that makes sense. He's not your stereotypical. I don't know whatever you think of as a blue. Of course, he's not a blue chipper, but you think I don't know 6'4", 6'5" quarterback that can fling it all over the field. He's not that guy, but I mean, dude is just a gamer. He's a good football player, and he gets it done, and he's clutch, and it's fun to watch in a sense. I mean, Vanderbilt's a scrappy football team, and they beat Alabama and tore down the goalpost as they should have. Took it through downtown Nashville and ended up all the way to the river. That goalpost traveled 3 miles
Yeah.
through downtown Nashville to get to the river. Pretty cool stuff. Uh, and Ryan Williams still very impressive for Alabama, but it wasn't enough. I mean, that's the thing. Alabama scored 35 points. They
Yeah.
gave 40 to Vanderbilt, Diego Pavia, and Vanderbilt. So, wow. If you're, I saw a clip from the Feinbaum show about this guy calls himself Legend. Who calls into the show regularly, Alabama fan. He went on like a 6.5 minute rant, and it was pretty good stuff. He compared Kalen DeBoer to his like your wife that cheats on you. It's like it doesn't matter how good it is from here. I can never trust you again.
Okay.
I thought it was actually kind of a semi clever comparison. It kind of makes sense though. I mean, this is your first year replacing the GOAT, Nick Saban, and yeah, you get off to a really good start. You get a great win last week, but then you turn around and you lost to Vanderbilt.
Could you imagine how crazy the parties were there in Nashville? I seen it. I forgot who it was that posted it, but somebody on X was like, "Just think, an entire generation of doctors just got a little dumber tonight from all the partying."
Yeah, but it was worth it.
Oh yeah,
I don't know that the party's over yet. I mean, are we sure that the party's over?
that's one. That's one that can last pretty much for the rest of the season. I just looked up their record. They've only beat Alabama 17 times since 1903. That was their first win since '84, man. Like,
What
so
was the
not in our
date?
lifetime,
Does it have
huh?
does it have the date? It might have been in mine.
Uh, oop. Not right offhand. I don't see the date.
So I'll say I turned
Um,
40 years old Friday. So yeah, I was born October 4th, 1984. So might have happened, or it either happened right after or right at or right before I was born is the last time that Vanderbilt beat Alabama. I have a very bald head and some gray in my beard now. My niece thought it was toothpaste, by the way. She said, "What is that?" I was like, "It's gray. It's in my beard." She said, "Oh, I thought it was like toothpaste or something." Nope, just just a little different color now. So 1984, the last time Vanderbilt beat Alabama. Wow. Yeah, I mean, that's a smart school, so you got to get back to, you got to get back to studying pretty quickly after that. But class on Monday, the spirits were up for sure.
I'm sure 80% of them didn't even know a football game was going on. So
Maybe so. Yeah, I don't know about that, but I mean,
I
Alabama,
don't know.
man. I mean, it's still the SEC. Vanderbilt's respectable at everything else, pretty much. I mean, they got a good baseball team. The basketball team hasn't been great, but they've been decent in years past. Some of those smart kids can play and can play football this year. So I mean, shout out to Arkansas and Vanderbilt, man. I mean,
September 20, September 29th, 1984.
yeah, I wasn't born yet. I was
Yeah.
born a couple weeks later.
And drop some knowledge on you. The first game in 1903, Vandy smoked Bama 30 to nothing.
1903. Well, back when the equipment was top notch and didn't have face mask, and
Didn't even
they
have any rules.
yeah, I was gonna say they didn't just run the ball back then though. They threw it. They kind of threw it a lot back then too.
they, they threw human bodies back then. Like literally. They would throw you over the line. You grab the ball and they would toss you over the line. Like
Yeah.
it was back when multiple people would die in a game. Pretty sweet.
1903, you said?
1903. Then Alabama lost the next 4 games. They started off against Vandy 0-5.
Oh, well, you're getting a history lesson here, folks. Now, of course, this is back when, I mean, this was 24 years before, math right, 24 years before the 27 Yankees, which is, widely regarded, or at least as one of the greatest teams ever assembled. Nothing but Hall of Famers throughout that lineup, at least in the first half of it. What? Wow. So long, long time ago. That's a pretty good history lesson here on the Shoe Booty Sports Podcast. You never know what you're going to get here. Okay, who does Alabama have next? Of course, they dropped all the way or they dropped to seventh in the AP poll.
Yeah, all the way back to 7. Yeah,
Mhm.
for Bama.
Well, this is not going to be good for their. I mean, they would have to pretty much like win out, I would think, or at least they can't. I don't
Well,
know. I
they
mean, there's
they
12
have to
teams.
win out. They have to win out.
Yeah, that's gonna depending on how Vandy does. I mean, maybe they finish the year with like 6, 7 wins. If so, then it doesn't look as bad. But still, people are good.
Maybe.
People know it's Vanderbilt. You can't shake that reputation.
Their next 3 games is against South Carolina, Tennessee, and Missouri. It's like, is that Missouri's first time playing Bama in like a normal conference game since they've been in the SEC?
I don't know. Don't know. But I mean, it's about time they played each other.
Yeah.
But I mean, that happens, with that many, especially with that many teams we have now. I like that it's the way it is now because we're not just playing the same like schedule all the time, like they're rotating. Because Arkansas would play Florida and Tennessee like what every 5, 6 years.
Yeah.
Georgia too. I mean, it's the same thing. It's kind
Yeah.
of,
Every 5, 7 years.
yeah, and it's like you're in the same conference. You should be playing these teams more often than that. Vanderbilt, same way. Arkansas and Vanderbilt, basically just Arkansas and any East team, pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay, so does Alabama still make the playoff by the end of the season?
They went out, yeah. And I don't see anybody else on their remaining on their schedule that's going to beat them, especially after getting woken up by Vandy. So I think they'll be on a mission for the rest of the season.
I think Alabama's still Alabama in a sense that they could probably win like or lose like 3 games and they'd still get in the playoff, especially with it just being 12 teams now. The committee just loves them that much. But I do think Alabama gets in, but it's worth a prisoner of the moment question like that to me. Because I mean it's gonna hurt your resume no matter what you do. But really the rest of the way. You could still get in, sure, but that Vandy loss. Okay, so other games from the college football season that stood out before we move on.
From the season, huh?
Saturday from the Saturday.
Well,
Been a
I
long day.
mean, it was a great day. You had Mizzou losing, Bama losing, Tennessee going down, which we all seen coming. Uh, let's see. Then there was Michigan. They lost. They were top 10.
Yeah,
Miami, I thought for sure Miami was gonna lose, man. And I stayed up and watched the end of that game. Look, I mean, they came back and won it, but I don't know if was it Cam Ward? Yeah, I think that game hurt his Heisman hopes. So I thought there's somebody else in the top 10 that went down.
probably. I mean, it got all kinds of shaken up just from Vanderbilt and Arkansas alone. I'm sure there were. It's not coming to me right away. So
Was kind
be
of surprised Ole Miss took care of business on the road against South Carolina, who's been playing pretty good, especially at home.
yeah. You
I
know,
was
you
surprised.
never know what you're going to get with South Carolina, really.
I was kind of shocked they only put up 3 points, though.
Yeah, it was. I don't know. Ole Miss should beat them by that, but doesn't necessarily mean they're going to. I suppose.
And have you seen the kid for Boise State? Like that's putting up all the ridiculous stats.
The running back, you mean?
Yeah, the running back.
I haven't seen him play. I've seen his numbers though. Very impressive numbers.
Yeah, like he's already over 1,000 yards. Forgot how many touchdowns just in the first 5 weeks. It's pretty stupid.
Yeah, it's just popped up on like my Twitter feed
Yeah,
as I've been scrolling. It's like wow, and he's a pretty stocky looking dude.
nope. I know another game that surprised me. Well, I guess it kind of surprised me. OSU just getting obliterated by West Virginia.
Who's OSU? I mean, there's a lot of OSU's. Oklahoma
Oh,
State.
Oklahoma State.
Okay,
Sorry.
that doesn't really break it down.
Sorry.
Um, like I was like Ohio State. Like what?
Well, Ohio State didn't lose, so could have threw that one
Well,
out.
well, still, there's plenty of OSU's out there.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I didn't follow enough this weekend to get that reference. Um, Yeah, Oklahoma State. I mean, they weren't. I mean, Arkansas should have beat them. That's the thing. Arkansas should be 5-1. Like I texted you, I was like, I'm not going to get greedy. I will take 4-2, but they should be 5-1.
Yeah.
Some people are saying 6-0. They weren't better than Texas A&M, so I don't know where to get that. Um, but yeah, they should be 5-1. Arkansas, that is.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Yeah, pretty much. Ifs and buts. Okay. Pro football. Chiefs and Vikings, the last unbeaten teams in the NFL, just the way everybody chalked it up, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly those two teams.
Yeah, the Chiefs keep finding ways to win close games. I mean, I like their formula now. It's it's a defensive team with like Chris Jones. I mean, of course, you have Patrick Mahomes, but it's a defensive team with Patrick Mahomes as your quarterback, Chris Jones as your anchor on defense, and Andy Reid calling the plays, and some really fast guys at the skill positions. I mean, that's what they are. And you go get Kareem Hunt, it and you plug him back into that spot he had when he was last with the team, whenever that was, a
Mhm.
couple years ago or so.
2 seasons ago, yeah.
You're just not missing a beat. They're the same old Chiefs. Kelce is back into that role, to what we're accustomed to seeing, just because of all the injuries.
Yeah.
And he looks like Travis Kelce. People saying like he lost a step or anything. I was like, no, he's 35, and they're trying. You could tell in the preseason the Chiefs were actively trying to make Rashee Rice that guy. They were
Yeah.
actively trying to do that, and working Xavier Worthy too. Like there's nothing wrong with Kelce. It's that they're trying to get other guys involved in the offense. Like you
Yeah.
don't want your 35-year-old tight end catching the ball 10 times a game.
That and Kelsey's got what, 2 seasons left in him max, including this season?
I don't know. You think? I don't know. It's weird to say. I mean, he's 35 now. It's weird to say that a 38-year-old tight end is going to be playing like in this league. He'll
Yeah.
probably play. He signed what, like a 2-year extension?
I don't know.
I think he signed a two-year extension, and he'll probably play that out, and he'll probably retire after that because one, he'll be 37. Two, his podcast. I think he makes more money doing his podcast now than he does playing football, which is wild. Also, very cool for him. Uh, I'm not against anybody getting paid. I mean, go get your money, especially if you can do it after your career. Oh, and you're dating a billionaire, so he's doing okay. And but to see him still like be Travis Kelce, especially like after that pop he took on that little shovel pass to him that they like to run
Mhm.
all the time, they got snipped out. I mean, a full on shot to the head. I mean, nothing illegal about it, but some people would be in his position would be thinking, man, do I really want to keep doing this, or how much longer do I want to keep doing this? Uh,
Like, when am
but
I going to shoot my first B Dubs commercial?
yeah, or just whatever he's in now. He's on boxes of cereal now with his brother.
I
But
did see that earlier. That was wild.
I see that in the grocery store every time, which I'm got to
Oh,
go
I
check.
haven't seen it in the grocery store.
I have. They're on boxes of cereal, which is interesting. But it was pretty cool to see Travis Kelce back to the Travis Kelce like that we've grown accustomed to over the years. Just it's had to be by default. Which, by the way, Rashee Rice, they finally came out today and said he's out for the year. So
Dang.
yeah, so fantasy football advice before we
Woo.
get out of here. Um, I'm 4-1 in my league, by the way. Despite my crew not necessarily being top notch the last 2 weeks and all the injuries at my receivers or at the receiving position for me, including Rashee Rice, which I just went ahead and dropped him today because I'm going to try to add 3 people And I just went ahead and dropped guys because I was like, I don't want to keep. I know I'm not going to keep any of these players. So I'm just going to go ahead and drop them and just try to just add them right away.
Yeah. Yeah. I ought to go for Smith Schuster.
I
I'm
am
sure he's out there. I'm gonna go for him
absolutely.
too. I probably won't get it. I've put in like 10 or 15 waiver wire ads and I never get them. But yeah, I got crushed in one league and then did the crushing in the other, like the important league, the 14 team league. Um, but yeah, so I'm 4-1 in that one and 3-2 in the other one. So nothing to really complain about.
Well, Tyler Kraft, the Green Bay tight end, has had two really good weeks. I've got him number one on my priority list as far as who to claim. Juju Smith-Schuster is second. He's number two. I'm a little hesitant about that, but the Chiefs are going into a bye week, and I just feel like Tyler Kraft is the hotter get right now. So I put him at number two, Smith Schuster at number two, and I got Patrick Mahomes, so he's on a bye this week. So I put in a claim for Kirk D. Cousins. So we will see
Put
how.
up some
Hopefully,
points.
yeah, hopefully he can replicate that this
Mr.
week.
Cousin, yeah. I forgot who somebody in my league had him, but of course he was on the bench. He put up like 45 points or something. Something stupid this past weekend.
Threw 500 something yards, threw over 500 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 pick. He said, I just liked ever since they had that quarterback show on Netflix, and it was Mahomes, him, and Mariota. Which whatever happened to him, by the way. I mean, he's
I
still in
have
the
no
league.
idea.
So
I don't
he
know where that dude's at.
kind of vanished after that documentary. He was in Atlanta, but now
I thought he was in
Cousins is there.
Miami for some reason, but I know that's not the case.
I feel like he'd be playing if that were the case. If that were the
Yeah.
case, but ever since then, I've I'm a Kirk Cousins fan. Like I can't help but root for the guy. He's just a good dude and a hard dude. Just not plus his story. I mean, he's been an underdog pretty much everywhere he's been, even in college. He had to fight for the Michigan State job, and then you're the quarterback taken after in the whatever round it was, second or third round after they picked RG, traded all those picks to go get RG3. And then they take you later on. You end up beating him for the job and then being the better quarterback, the better quarterback. So I can't help but root for the guy.
I've
Plus,
liked him ever. I
go
was gonna
ahead.
say I've liked him ever since you like that. So
And yes, that that's where it started really for me was the you like that. I mean, that's where it started. I loved that. And but then the more I learned about him, the more I liked him. So it was between him and Geno Smith. Geno's been kind of that just model of consistency, like a high floor, low ceiling type of quarterback to me, if that makes sense. I heard Trent Dilfer say it on ESPN years ago regarding uh, the guy the Broncos hired when John Fox, head coach. It was like he's a high floor, low ceiling type of coach, which made a lot of sense. I
yeah,
was like, that's Geno Smith to me. He's not necessarily going to light it up, although he kind of has been yardage wise. But he's not going to necessarily go. He's not going to go out and have a 45-point game either, like Kirk Cousins did. Kirk Cousins is capable of having a game like that and then turning around just crapping the bed too. So, but he said his Achilles is starting to get better, feel better. He's starting to feel more like himself. So I'm hoping that continues, especially this week. I am going to be playing without a kicker because I do have Harrison Butker, and I just don't have another spot for somebody to drop. So I'm just going to have to play without a kicker this week. Be like that
don't do
sometimes.
it. Don't be that guy.
I got to, man. I can't drop anybody else. Just I can't do it. Uh,
Well, you got the number one kicker or something. You think he's gonna get snagged up in that off week?
Harrison Butker, yeah, somebody's going to take him. You would drop Harrison Butker.
I wouldn't drop it, but I mean, hell, you got bench has 6 players on it. I mean, surely somebody's expendable.
I mean, they are, but I'm replacing them with other people. I'm trying to replace them with other skill players. Like, I mean, would you drop Lad McConkey?
No.
Okay. I mean, yeah, it's no, it just I got to be that guy this week. I got to play without a kicker. It's what it is. Like I can't give up that depth. Those are valuable spots. I feel like I got pretty good. I have undroppable players to me. All right, well, let's get out of here with some other news. The NHL season started tonight because we do so much hockey
What?
coverage on this show. Did you even know that?
No, I did not. I knew it started soon just because it's October. So,
Yeah, Florida Panthers beat the Boston Bruins 6-4. Playoff baseball is underway. It's actually been really good baseball. The bits I've tuned in. It was a really good sports day Sunday. Phillies had a huge comeback win. I didn't see much of anything. I saw
I didn't
the
either.
I saw the first game that came on and um, the Cowboys Steelers game, and only because of like the massive delay, the massive weather delay. Because of that, I got to see 3 quarters of that game from basically the second quarter on. I spent my time mowing. Yard looks great, by the way. But yeah, I was like, this is my window of time to mow, so I went and did that, and that basically ate up the chunk of my Sunday. But it was a great day, sports wise Sunday. Caitlin Clark, in other news, the the WNBA Rookie of the Year. She got 66 of, I believe, of the 67 first place votes. Of course, that one vote that didn't go her way went to Angel Reese. So I think for whatever reason they make those votes anonymous. I feel like you should publicize that here in the
Yeah.
future. That way, so that it's public, whoever, because it's clearly personal. If you
Yeah.
voted against Caitlin Clark for Rookie of the Year, and that needs to be made public so that the person that voted for Angel Reese can stand on that publicly and defend it because what or try to make sense of it because it doesn't make any sense. Okay. Anything else going on? Or I mean, there's all kinds of stuff going on in the sports world. But well, the Mets beat the Phillies today, so they're up 2-1 in that series. Series tied right now in the NLDS between the Padres and Dodgers. The Padres and these teams hate each other, by the way, so it's awesome TV. Padres up 6-5 over the Dodgers on the bottom of the fourth. Um, yeah, no outs on FS1 right now, so I would say I'm going to get off here and go watch that, but I got to go to the grocery store and get some groceries. Maybe after that. But I guess we'll be back next week with not talking about Razorback football, but plenty of other things to talk about. So we'll see y'all next time. I'm Graham Powell.
Brother Brown.
Deuces, y'all.
Peace.